Hello and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Sherry and today we're going to be making another recipe from my favorite combination of sweet and salty. We're going to be making salted caramel coconut macaroons. These cookies are a coconut lover's dream. And they're really easy to make, so I think you're really going to enjoy this recipe. To get started, I have 1 1/3 cups of coconut and 1/3 of a cup of sugar. And I'm just going to stir these together really quick. And then I'm going to add in 2 egg whites, 2 tablespoons of flour, a half a teaspoon of vanilla, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to give this a stir. And I have to tell you, I make these every year for my husband to send out to his clients. I put them in little tins with other cookies that I make. But these are the ones that everyone comes back. He tells me that people are offering to pay money. They want more of these. I probably should just go in business making these cookies alone. No, I'd get bored. I like to make all kinds of things. But nonetheless, people just love these. This is an award-winning recipe, or it was. I got this from Taste of Home years ago, and I've been using this recipe for probably 6 years. The only thing that I've done different is turned it into a salted caramel, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that after we get done baking these. So for now, and that's it. So these are all stirred together. I'm going to take my cookie scoop here. And I'm just going to scoop these out. And I try to pack these in here because as you can see, it'll pack down a lot. There's like a lot of air in there. And I try to make sure they're all nice and even across the top, that I don't really have any of these little coconut pieces sticking out. I like them to be all uniform and look really nice and pretty. So I'm going to put these on some parchment paper. So again, I'm packing them down in here. And then if I see any extra, I just kind of pull it off and throw it back in the bowl. That can go in the next cookie. So once I lay them down, if I see any little pieces sticking out, sometimes I'll tuck it underneath there. I might pull it off. I might roll them in a ball, but I try to keep them all really nice and pretty looking. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop up the rest of these. Okay, all my cookies are scooped up and on the tray. They're ready to be baked. And as you'll see, this makes exactly 12 cookies, which doesn't really seem like a lot considering most cookie recipes are about 36, but these are so rich. You're only going to be able to eat like one of these at a time. I'm telling you, they're absolutely fabulous. So these are going to go in the oven, 325 degrees for about 18 to 20 minutes. So these are going to take, about twice as long as your normal cookie, if not even a little bit longer. But we're baking them at a lower temperature too. So 325 degrees, 18 to 20 minutes. Okay, our cookies are finished baking. They're out of the oven and I let them cool for just about 10 minutes. So now comes the fun part. We get to add the salt and the caramel. So I'm going to set these aside and I saved my parchment paper. I just flipped it over. So I have something that the caramel's not going to stick to. And I'll show you before I grab my caramel what I actually use, and it's butterscotch chips. So I got these at Aldi's, and again, I think they're a seasonal thing there, but you can get these at the baking aisle at Walmart. So butterscotch chips, and you can also get in the baking aisle some coconut oil. So a half a teaspoon of this to a half a bag of this, and that's going to help it make it really smooth. Plus, it's going to add that extra level of coconut flavor on there. All right. So now you can melt these in a microwave or a double boiler. I just like to use my little chocolate melter here because it keeps it handy for me. So I'm just going to grab these one at a time, and I'm just going to dip the bottoms in here, kind of give them a little shake, and then set them on my parchment. So I'm going to do the bottoms of all of these first. All right, now once we have all the bottoms coated, I'm just going to take the tines of my fork, and I'm going to do a couple of these at a time, and I'm just going to drizzle the caramel over the top. And the reason I only want to do a couple at a time is I don't want the caramel to dry before I'm able to add a little bit of salt to the top. And so the salt I'm using is Malden sea salt flakes. So again, these are a flake, and this is what you'll see like on the top of like your salted caramels or your salted chocolates. It's just a really pretty salt, and it's great if you do food photography. And I'll put the link, the Amazon link to this in the description below, of course, with the full recipe. So I'm just going to finish doing these. And sometimes I get really sloppy. I think I'm like really obsessed with coconut because when I was growing up, my mom would always use that, I think it's Hawaiian Tropic, and it was, the suntan oil, and I just loved the smell of it. We used it all the time when we were on vacation, or she used it all the time when we were on vacation. I always got the sunblock. She got the, the good smelling stuff. And I just remember, see, I get to talking and forgetting I'm supposed to be putting my salt on here first. Anyway, I just remember the smell of that, and we were always on vacation, so I don't know. When I eat stuff that has coconut in it, sometimes I just like to pretend I'm on vacation. Anyway, there you have it. I'm going to let these dry, and I think I'm going to use these as a gift. I think they're just beautiful. They're pretty. They taste delicious. I need to let them cool a little bit also, but I think I'm going to put these in a really pretty box, and I think I'll give them away as a gift. So I don't think I'm going to eat any of these today, but I can tell you they are not just sweet and salty. They're also really, really chewy, and they're just delicious. So I hope you give them a try because they're easy to make, and again, I think they make a great gift. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.